Hey guys, I wanted to bring you another YouTube video. The draft just ended, and so just trying to do a quick recap on the big storylines, my predictions, and see which ones were right. Obviously, the first three picks were right. Kate Cunningham went number one to Detroit Pistons. Number two, Jalen Green went to the Houston Rockets. Number three, obviously, went to Cleveland with Evan Mobley. And then number four, originally, again, I had Jalen Slugs going there. But I guess, and my thinking was that Kyle Lowry would be probably be gone or traded. And so that did not end up happening. Toronto went with Scotty Barnes, so it makes me wonder if they're going to try to keep Kyle Lowry, Fred Van Fleet, and run it again this way. I mean, they're not that far away. I mean, they had injuries to deal with. Pascal Sakum was going to be a good player with another year in his belt. So I mean, I could see why, but I thought Jalen Suggs was going to be there, especially as a replacement for Kyle Lowry. So Orlando ended up going with Suggs, which makes sense. So that was the biggest surprise I thought going in first. Another surprise was before the draft started. Well, actually, I think it was during the draft because there was rumblings that the Lakers and Washington Wizards were trying to finalize Russell Westbrook trade. So that involved Russell Westbrook, Kyle Kuzma, the 2022 pick for the Washington Wizards going to, or I mean, the 2022 pick going to the Wizards. Who else? Then you had KCP, and then you also had Montreal Harris was another one. So those were keep. I mean, they were trying to keep Kuzma or try and work with him and try and develop him, but I mean, it just wasn't working out with those players. So it definitely understandable to get rid of them for Russell Westbrook. Now, do I think it's going to work out? Not really. But do I think reason why they got him was because I don't think they had any other choice, to be honest, if they're looking for a replacement for a point guard. They talked about thinking about trying to get Chris Paul. I think because LeBron is good friends with Chris Paul, Chris Paul would be crazy to give up that $45 million option. So he was definitely probably get his money. Um, so that was probably no go for Lakers fans. Another one they were thinking Damian Lillard. I don't think there was enough pieces unless you're willing to give Anthony Davis. I just don't see how Portland was willing to give up Damian Lillard for next to nothing unless you're going to give a bunch of draft picks and maybe Anthony Davis. So I didn't see that going anywhere for a while. Another rumor was Kyle Lowry. They just didn't have the cap, and so I think unless Kyle Lowry was willing to take a huge pay cut, that was probably no go there. So the biggest thing you would have to do is find a trade, and so the only trade I thought that could make sense was Wizards trying to get rid of Westbrook, and then Lakers was desperate enough to get a third star, which Washington was probably going to be the best fit in that sense. Um, I can't remember. There was probably another 15. Oh, wait. Colin Sexton was another one that they were throwing that around, which I think at that point, I know Sexton is a younger player, and I know they had the third pick, but I don't see them getting Suggs and starting to overdevelop in that sense. So, um, yeah, they would have got probably a couple pieces here and there. So I think the Lakers probably would have preferred Westbrook and then get fill out with the roster with some lower tier players or some better players at the cheap contract side. So there wasn't too many big blockbuster trades. It was more draft picks and positions in that sense, I would say. That big trade with the Pelicans and the Grizzlies on Monday, that was another one, but that was before. So there wasn't as much trading going in, which I was a little surprised in that sense. Um, with the and a lot of them kept a lot of teams kept their draft picks. That's the other thing, or traded with another team to swap for future. A good example. So the Houston Rockets, I think it was good on what they did, on how they built and attack this draft. So because remember they're going to lose some of these draft picks to Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City is getting some more draft picks. Um, Supposedly, I read two future first rounder for the 16th pick of this year, but I think one of them's from Detroit. I think part of the Christian Wood, which I think it's a compensatory. I'm not sure how that worked, but they're saying there's a first round from Detroit that was belonged to Houston. And then there was another one, I can't remember now. I went blank. But there was another one from another team that they're able to package or send over because of another trade. Oh, I think, no, it's not Milwaukee. I was thinking, but that was PJ Tucker. The PJ Tucker into Portland of Robert Covington. That was from this year. Yeah, I can't remember, but it's not the Houston Rockets because they pretty much traded most of their draft picks and they're trying to get it back. So um, I guess it kind of makes sense that they had to keep these four or try and get these. Well, they originally had three, and then that's where I thought they could try and position or get some more draft picks later down the road. But if they figure let's develop as young as possible, Jalen Green, Alperen Sugun, the 16 pick, Usman Garbon, and Josh Christopher. So Jalen Green, I'm excited because I've seen what he could do in the G League. So he's compared with Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, and a cheap version of Zach LaVine. So I'll take that any day. Hopefully, he's more of the Kobe Bryant, but that's some big shoes to fill. So Alperen Sugun, big man from Turkey. Looking at some highlights, I'll be honest, I'm not too sure, but like before doing the video, I saw highlights of Alperen, Usman, and Josh Christopher. I think the two international players that they picked up could be beneficial, especially if they got a lot of experience in that. Because Alperen, it's I believe like barely turned 19. He wants he put up some good numbers at 18 years old already. So that's where I think if these four players gel and play more together, I don't think Josh Christopher is going to play as much, but he's probably going to be more of a role player coming off the bench. So I thought also Orlando kind of did well. Kind of lucked out with Jalen Suggs. I thought Golden State tried to get Bradley Beal, but obviously they weren't flinching. They weren't going for it. The Wizards, which I mean I understand when getting rid of Russell Westbrook, but if you're in full rebuild, that was a pretty good offer, I think, to get Wiseman, Wiggins, and the two picks, which from Golden State, whoever players you could have seen. So that could have been a young group and have that fast rebuild jump start. So I don't know how the Warriors are going to turn out because I think those two players are going to be more of the role players. I can't see them immediate starters because if Wiseman was a higher projected player and he was struggling some games or inconsistent, so I just can't see how those other two players will help right away, except probably coming off the bench. So, especially if the rest of the team is pretty healthy, because you could have a Wiseman, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, and Steph Curry. So, overall, I think the Lakers trade kind of made a big headline. And then once, like I said, Toronto was a surprise pick. But it kind of shows, I wonder if they're going to try to keep Kyle Lowry or try their best. And then overall, I think it was, and then also the Terrence Clark, I believe, was an honorary pick of the NBA draft. So because he was projected to go in the lottery too. So I thought that was neat that what they did for the tribute for the mom, aunt, and the brother to have them walk on the stage. So let me know what you thought of tonight's draft. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Thanks again, and together we can build better tomorrow. Thanks.